Welcome back to the second episode of Har-Ber On-Air. I'm Trey Rutledge.
And I'm Megan Killen. Har-Ber On-Air is a production made by students for students. This week we had the opportunity to see Dr. Jilka's art and hear about Choir's Italy trip.
But before that, here are some weekly announcements. The blood drive is Friday, September 29th in the wrestling gym. Appointments are encouraged. All donors get a free t-shirt and 2 admissions to Dickerson Park Zoo.
HOSA fees are due October 8th. If you plan on graduating with medical honors, you must join HOSA.
Order your yearbook at yearbookforever.com. They are $60. Information about senior tributes will be available soon. Email carlasprague@sdale.org for more info.
Yearbook photo retakes will be October 12th for both underclassmen and seniors. This will be the final opportunity for seniors.
If you are eligible, please apply for free and reduced lunches. This will also qualify you for free ACT testing and other scholarships after high school.
Marshallese and Pacific Islanders are invited to the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville on October 31st. Email Ms. Wolf at bwolf@sdale.org if you have any questions.
Backpacks are no longer allowed in football games. If you approach a ticket stand with a backpack, you will not be sold a ticket.
In sports and other activities, on Monday, tennis plays Heritage in the Wildcat Arena. Girls varsity golf plays at Springdale Country Club.
On Tuesday, volleyball is at Bentonville and girls varsity golf is at the Springdale Country Club. On Wednesday, girls varsity golf continues playing at the Springdale Country Club and tennis starts their West Conference tournament.
On Thursday, tennis concludes their West Conference tournament and volleyball plays Heritage. On Friday, football plays Heritage. Make sure to be there to show your support for our Wildcats.
Looks like there are lots of fun things happening at Har-Ber this week. Recently, one of Har-Ber's very own teachers, Dr. Jilka, had some of his art showcased. Here's the story.
If you go to Har-Ber, there's no doubt you've seen Dr. Jilka playing his guitar in the hall. Recently, his art was displayed in an art walk located in downtown Springdale. The art walk was a 3-day event showcasing many different local artists' work throughout businesses in downtown Springdale.
I was asked to submit some work and I did so. I had a bunch of paintings available, so I decided to put those up. Any chance that I get, including kind of in Springdale where I live and work, it's a really great opportunity for me too, so I try to take advantage of it as much as possible.
This is not the first art event Dr. Jilka has been involved in. He has been making a variety of different art for a long time.
There's a few things that I'm really inspired by. Patterning is one thing, like any kind of mathematical patterning. That's really interesting to me. And then the second thing is nature or natural forms like flowers and plants. And the idea, for me at least, the last few years has been to have those in combination through kind of abstract forms and think of different ways of exploring these two things that are kind of disparate and taking them and combining them in really colorful, interesting, kind of abstracted ways.
Dr. Jilka hopes that he is able to help his students grow in their art, whether or not they come into his class with a love for it.
This is my 26th year of teaching, and I first started teaching when I was a grad student, when I first moved down to Arkansas. And I don't know, I just kind of I fell in love with the students and it was great. It was a good feeling of imparting some sort of knowledge or experience, to people who didn't really previously have this type of knowledge or experience. And so, my goal is to get them to be kind of open up to things of this world, right? Things that are kind of creative and people that think differently and make different things that not only to add to the aesthetic of the world, but they add to some sort of inner fulfillment, And to me, that's just the best thing in the world. People need to know how people work in the world, how they kind of run into problems and try to solve them in different creative ways in this case. And as a practicing artist, it's helpful for me to kind of be in that realm to show them hey, this is how I think, this is how I do things, and this is how I view the world, and this is what I create, and you can do wonderful things, as well.
Whether you see Dr. Jilka with his guitar in the halls or you have him as a teacher, his talent for art is undeniable. You can see more of it at his website, milanjilka.com. For Har-Ber On-Air, I'm Megan Killen.
Thanks, Megan. It's great to see one of our teachers' art being recognized.
Speaking of teachers, Har-Ber has over 30 new teachers this year. We will be spotlighting one of our new teachers each week. Brandon Horner has this week's Teacher Spotlight.
With all the new teachers this year at Har-Ber, it's hard to choose just one for the next Teacher Spotlight. But we decided on yet another Coach Estes, a teacher and coach of the women's soccer team here at Har-Ber.
I decided to work at Har-Ber because I had a lot of friends in college who went to Har-Ber and they absolutely loved their high school experience, talked so highly of Har-Ber, and so I was really excited when I saw the position here open and was really excited to become a teacher and a coach here. My favorite thing about Har-Ber is all of the students and how engaged they are and just involved in the Har-Ber community. I think it's so cool how spirited everyone is and just loves being at Har-Ber.
The spirit of Har-Ber students also flows through Coach Estes with her spirit for teaching.
My favorite thing about teaching is building relationships with all of my students and getting to know them and know them more than just them as a student in my classroom, but really getting to learn who they are outside of the classroom, what they love to do, and what they're involved in.
Not only does Coach Estes have a passion for her students, she's also had a lifelong passion for her sport.
So I played soccer in high school and always wanted to be a coach, and so when I saw this soccer coach opening, I was super excited to get to coach here.
Thank you, Coach Estes, for taking time to talk to us. I'm Brandon Horner with Har-Ber On-Air.
Thanks, Brandon, for introducing us to one of Har-Ber's new teachers.
Har-Ber is full of many different students with many different interests and talents. Chloe Stone recently attended Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue to learn about one of Har-Ber's very own students and his involvement in the event.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There isn't much else a rally needs. For many, however, this rally is more than just an event on a calendar.
Pretty much by family for the most part. My parents, their parents, and their parents before them pretty much all have road bikes for the most part. My dad started taking me with him about 11, 12 is when I first started actually going to the event. We'd go during the day, during the earlier parts and stuff. Just kind of see the bikes, look at them, was the most part. Back when it was still on Fayetteville, there wasn't a lot of like events for it. It was mainly road meetup, people would go, they'd go to the bars, etc. So there wasn't a whole lot back then, but as I got into actually riding, when I got my permit at 14 and it was legal to ride on the street, started riding to it. We would go meet up with a couple friends, whatever, ride for a little bit, go to the stadium over on the other side of Springdale, where they actually had more of like a community event versus where Dixon was. After that, though, when they moved it to Rogers, it's become more community focused. There's a lot more events for younger people to join in and actually be a part of the event itself. And riding's one of the easiest ways to get into it. I mean, if you ride there, you blend in with all the people, you know.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue started in 2000 when Fayetteville's Chief of Police, Richard Watson, bought his first Harley. The event boasted over 300 riders. This last year, the event had over 400,000 attendees from all over the tri-state area. This event is one of the largest charity rallies for the Northwest Arkansas region. From its start to now, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue has generated a total of $3 million for local nonprofits. This money is used to help underrepresented parts of our community, like the families of veterans. While Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue stimulates the economy and boosts our community, it's also just fun. Within a range of events like shopping, competitions, and food, there's plenty to do. Another year at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is in the books. I hope to see you out there. For Har-Ber On-Air, I'm Chloe Stone.
Thanks for introducing us to one of Har-Ber's talented students, Chloe.
Over the summer, some of the choir students were able to take a trip to Italy. Here's Arling Locott to tell us more.
High school is all about experiences. This summer, Har-Ber High School choir directors Mr. Pernalto and Mr. Brown gave their students the experience of a lifetime.
This summer, we were lucky enough to take 37 high school students, 9 adults, 2 teachers, and then about another 15 to 18 people followed us throughout Europe. So we went over to Italy. We wanted to really fight to provide some experiences that would be, you know, life-changing, monumental.
This trip was more than a summer abroad with friends. The directors were intentional about the places and adventures the students would have.
We reached out to some people that are from the town that my ancestors are from in Valle de Pasubio, and we were able to get a hold of some people. We got told no at first, like we got told we couldn't come, and then Mr. Brown's wife was actually a tour guide in Italy for some time, went over there and studied abroad, and so she called some people and made some calls, and then got a hold of the person called the Pro Loco, which is kind of like the seat of tourism for their government. And he started setting it all up, and the town kind of made a big deal about it.
Traveling with close to 40 teenagers is no easy task. There was a great amount of planning that had to happen to make the trip memorable for everyone.
So I really feel like not only did the culture and those kinds of things really speak to the kids, but we also really spoke to the people of our level of musicianship and professionalism that we showed.
Oftentimes, our small corner of Northwest Arkansas can feel isolating. Students were thrilled with the chance to connect with the people and culture so far from home.
I thought it was really cool because we got to make a connection of somewhere where we live so close to somewhere that's far across the world.
As much as the students liked Italy, the bonding experience they had with their peers will have a lasting effect.
It really affected me as a choir member, not only because I became a stronger singer, I also created better relationships with the people in my choir.
For Har-Ber On-Air, I'm Marlene Locott.
Thanks for telling us more about choir's trip to Italy, Arlang. That's all for this week's episode of Har-Ber On-Air. We hope you enjoyed it.
If you have a story you would like to see featured on the next episode, message us on Instagram or email Miss Hamilton at thamilton@sl.org.
Follow us on Instagram at Har-Ber Wildcat TV. Thanks for watching. I'm Trey Rutledge.
And I'm Megan Killen. Have a great week, Wildcats.